The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Portsmouth climbed out of the Championship relegation zone after Ibu Adams marked his home debut with a 77th minute equaliser to earn a 1-1 draw with fierce rivals. Saints were on course for a first league win at Fratton Park in 50 years following Leo Cienza's 57th minute opener. But the visitors were denied South Coast derby bragging rights when Pompey midfielder Adams, a January signing from Derby County, headed in following an Adrian Sajekic corner, to spark wild celebrations. Saints made the short journey along the M27, having not won a league match on Portsmouth's patch since 1976, albeit this was just the fifth such meeting during that period, and first for 15 years. Rival managers John Mazzino and Tonda Eckert exchanged words on the touchline during a frantic start to the contest, in which the visitors had a golden chance to snatch an early lead. Following a delightful flick from Kuryu Matsuki in midfield, Saints' 11-goal top scorer Adam Armstrong was sent through on goal by Finn Azaz, only for his low effort to be repelled by the left foot of Nicholas Schmid. Pompey goalkeeper Schmid then produced another smart stop to again deny Armstrong, diving to his right to keep out a thumping half-volley after James Bree crossed from the right. Forward Milenik Ali side-footed narrowly wide for the hosts, before a deflected effort from Sagechic dipped onto the roof of the net. Southampton boss Eckert had called for cold heads and hot hearts from his players amid the hostile atmosphere. His side silenced three sides of the ground 12 minutes into the second half when Cienza, who claimed Saints, winner in the 1-0 midweek success over Sheffield United, broke the deadlock. With Portsmouth appealing in vain for offside, the Brazilian winger raced clear onto Azaz's pass before calmly beating Schmid and then taunting home supporters as he ran the length of the pitch to celebrate with the travelling fans. Tempers threatened to boil over with 20 minutes to go after Flynn Downs' tackle on Zach Swanson as the home team attempted to break from a corner sparked a melee and resulted in a booking for both players. Pompey had struggled from an attacking perspective for much of the afternoon but levelled 13 minutes from time. Sagetic's in-swinging corner from the right caused chaos in Southampton's 6-yard box and Adams endeared himself to Portsmouth's fans by bundling home his first goal for the club in front of the stunned away end. Massinio's men ended a feisty affair in the ascendancy but could not find a winner during 6 minutes of added time as, for the second time this season, the derby ended in a draw.
It was, just to be neutral for a moment, one of the great derbies. One of the great derbies, especially if you're a Pompey fan, because we came from behind and we got a big something right at the death, and that is fantastic. But it had everything else. There was some good football. There was some very, very passionate football. There was a melee. Apparently there were words between the two managers. I didn't see it. I don't know anybody who says they did witness it or what it was about. But it all adds up to a perfect derby. Up there with anything that Arsenal, Spurs, or Liverpool, Everton, or the Manchesters, up with anything that they've ever produced, surely. OK, it wasn't 3-3, you do occasionally get such things, but 1-1 is pretty sound, a decent result, an encouraging result for us, and the way it happened with them taking the lead and us hearts in our mouths, and then there it is, a scrambled goal, and we'll talk about it for a long time to come. Didn't he celebrate it well? Wasn't he one of us when he celebrated his goal? So, as derbies go, it's a 9.5.
You know, it was an interesting game. You know, a load of intensity, a load of aggression. I thought not a huge amount in terms of tactics, and the weather probably played its part as well. But yeah, I think it was a properly intense derby, and going a goal down in the you know, the way that we did, and as the game sort of dragging on towards the back 20 minutes. It felt like at that point we probably would have taken a point, and then we scored. I thought we were the much better team for the last 20 minutes. So disappointing to not get the second, but I think overall it was a fair result. Yeah, I think if you consider the circumstances this week, we've been away to Sheffield Wednesday, been away to Watford, come back home, and Southampton off the back of 2 home games and then a short trip, and you know, an incredibly rich and talented squad. I think the lads have absolutely sort of emptied everything there and given everything they can with we're thin on the ground at the minute. We're really thin on the ground. We lost another player on Wednesday night, so I'm really, really pleased and proud of the boys. Yeah, I suppose mixed emotions. We wanted to win the game. We thought we could win the game. If I look back at the way the game ended in particular, I think I thought we were the side that looked like we were going to go and win it. If any side did, we just didn't have quite enough quality in the final third at times. And yeah, if you look at if you strip everything back, and we lost Regan on Wednesday night. He strapped himself up in case we were going to need something, but his groin's pretty much hanging off. But it just as a sign of how much he's willing to play for the cause. So we had to shift things around. Zach Swanson, I think his first ever start at centre back. Ibamboat coming in after a few weeks and really shifting things around in the back line. So I think with all of those things, it was a really pleasing day. Yeah, it was hard to persuade him, first of all, that he wasn't going to be able to start the game. I think he knew deep down, because he was really struggling to walk yesterday. But woke up this morning, we did a late fitness test. He was still limping around a bit in the warm up. But players coming back slightly ahead of schedule. Marlon came back ahead of schedule, shouldn't have been playing today. But we needed him, and we needed those players, and I thought everybody did a brilliant job. Oh, brilliant. I mean, he's been such a big part of this football club's history. He's been a huge part of my time here as well. I think he scored that first goal in the Fratton end. Or was it the second one? I can't really remember. But Marlon's been a brilliant part of my time here for the last 3 years, captain the side to promotion. And I think it's a sort of moment he's been dreaming about for a long time, because he didn't get to play in the first one. So it wasn't anything to do with emotion or bringing him on for the sake of it. It was because he's a properly good player, and we wanted him to come and change the game, which he did. I thought it was a really good reaction to go in a goal down, because naturally I think heads could have dropped. There was very little in the game. I thought that the chances that Southampton had, a couple on the break in the first half, probably I'm guessing Armstrong will be disappointed that he didn't slot that home, but a really big save from Nico. And I said to the press, I said to Nico on Wednesday night, he's going to save us far more often than he's going to cost us. So I was really pleased for Nico that he could bounce back with two top saves in the first half. The reaction to going a goal down and to not go under difficult circumstances was very impressive.
As things stand, we're only a point above the bottom three. Okay, we've got a game or two games, in the case of some teams, down amongst us in hand, but you've still got to get something from those games. So there's still all to play for. And Pompey are, in fact, I've just looked at Betfair, the third favourite team to go down, with Charlton and Blackburn very close to us in the betting, in the odds, but we are tighter than they are. So the bookies, or at least people who bet with Betfair, think that we're likely to go down. And yet, John Messino is looking more and more relaxed, more comfortable, happier, more confident than he has done for some weeks, possibly months. And one thinks that he feels that there is a turning taking place within, obviously, the actual footballers he's got to work with. I get the impression that he's confident that some people are coming in that he's really going to be able to depend on, but time will tell. We've only got about a week to go now in the transfer window. And I also feel that he feels that he's turning the corner with the confidence and the application of his tactics, the way he wants to play the pressing game, the way he wants to be everywhere on the pitch. His players, his new players in particular, are starting to acquire the knowledge of that so instinctively that they don't have to stop and think when they're out there on the pitch. They know what they should be doing at any given time of the game. And I think it shows itself in the way in which he is, in his post-match interviews, pre-match interviews, all of his interviews, and just generally the way he is when he's on the touchline. He may have had words with their manager, but it will have been in a controlled way. And he may have had a little rant at the fourth official, or maybe even several, because he does. But again, it will have been in a controlled way, with the outcome of the match being the primary consideration. He wasn't just letting off steam, and he wasn't surfing along on a wave of adrenaline as a result of it being the game that it was. A brilliant derby and an excellent point, well won by Pompey.
A number of players could be poised to depart cash-strapped Sheffield Wednesday before the end of the month, with the Owls situation continuing to bleaken both on and off the pitch. Wednesdayites have been rocked by the impending departure of long-serving midfield star Barry Bannon, who is set to join Millwall in a crushing blow for the bottom-placed Championship side, and bid an emotional farewell to the travelling Owls supporters during Saturday afternoon's 2-0 defeat at Bristol City. His 477th and final outing in blue and white following more than a decade of service. Jan Valery, meanwhile, is another player potentially poised to be on his way out of Hillsborough in the coming days, with Wrexham and Danny Rolls Rangers both reportedly interested in the fullback's signature, as the Owls seek to raise funds through player sales amid a drawn-out administration process ahead of James Board's prospective takeover of the club. Academy product Bailey Cadamarteri is not short of suitors either, and the likes of Blackburn Rovers, Charlton Athletic, Millwall, Stoke City and Swansea City are just 5 of the clubs stated to be eyeing up a potential move for the striker, who could be prized away for a fee anywhere between £750,000 and £1 million.
And Svante Ingelsson has emerged as the latest name to be linked with an exit from Henrik Pedersen's side in the closing stages of the winter transfer window, with relegation-threatened Portsmouth displaying an interest in the Swedish midfielder's services. Now, in a fresh update, it has been revealed how much would be required in order to get Ingelsson out of Wednesday before the window slams shut. Sheffield Wednesday Svante Ingelsson asking price revealed amid Portsmouth FC transfer interest. According to a recent report from The Sun's Alan Nixon, via his exclusive Patreon service, Sheffield Wednesday's administrators have named their price for Ingelsson amid interest from Portsmouth and others. Nixon's report claims that the administrators are holding out for a fee in the region of £500,000, having received a number of approaches for the 27-year-old throughout this month. It said that Portsmouth are the club most keen on acquiring Ingelsson, who reportedly has interest elsewhere across the Championship. The former Swedish youth international joined the Owls in the summer of 2024, arriving on a free transfer following his departure from Bundesliga outfit Hansa Rostock. Ingelsson's contract is set to expire at the end of the current campaign, although reports have indicated that his side hold a 1-year extension option beyond the summer.
Miserable time to be a Wednesday fan, obviously. Miserable time to be anybody associated with the once proud Sheffield Wednesday, and surely they will bounce back, but not yet, and not for the rest of this season. And so there is this kind of mass exodus going on. What a hammer blow for them to lose Barry Bannon. What a player he has been for them, for all the clubs that he's played for. Some of the eulogies that he's received down the years from the likes of Liverpool great Gerard Houllier, who said that he reminds him of Iniesta and Messi, he even said, because he's got such great balance and ball skills. And just while we're on with Bannon, he's remembered at his first Scottish club, was it Arbroath? He was a ball boy. He was 8 years old. And he was on the touchline and the ball went out for a throw-in, and an opposing forward player was coming to pick up the ball. But Bannon got it, flicked it up, juggled it, played with it. He then flicked it over the head of the incoming opponent, much to the absolute delight of the crowd. So he was obviously somebody, even then, who was consummate as a ball player, but also had a little bit of something special. And we've seen it, haven't we, at Fratton Park, particularly on the occasion of their last visit when he just placed that free kick. Do you remember? Exactly where he wanted it. And people where I was sitting were going, look, watch out, because Bannon's going to take it. He'll score. And so he did. So back to the situation, though, that as it affects us, in a sense, we don't care about Sheffield Wednesday because we want Ingelsson. He gets great write-ups. He's clearly somebody who is rock solid. And we need, as we go into this final third of the season, we need players, particularly in defence and midfield, who are rock solid. So let's hope we wake up and see him in a blue shirt, saying how delighted he is to be with Portsmouth. He dreamed of playing for Portsmouth when he was a boy, all that, in the not too distant.